What's up guys, Jonny May here and welcome to this week's quick tip where I'm going to teach you the easiest and fastest way of transposing a song to any key using what I call the number chart conversion method. We're going to be looking at an original swing tune that I wrote called Jan's Hideaway, and I'm going to teach you how to take the chords and convert them into numbers so that we can put them in any key. Now today's quick tip comes from a recent live workshop we did for our members at Piano with Jonny called How to Transpose a Lead Sheet for Intermediate and Advanced Pianists. And at the end of today's quick tip, I'm going to give you a quick summary of what's inside the full-length workshop. So let's go ahead and dive into the quick tip. All right, so we're talking about converting the melody and the chords into numbers. You guys are doing great. We're going to move along here. We got a lot to talk about. F diatonic 7th chords reference, okay? Basically, just as most melodies belong to a key, also most chords belong to a key. Meaning if you're playing in the key of F, most of your chords are chords that belong in the key of F major, meaning they use notes from F major, okay? Now, the most common chords in jazz are 7th chords, okay? And what you can do is build 7th chords on every degree, every scale degree of your F major scale. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, go ahead and play this with me, is we're going to start on an F, okay, and we're going to play 7th chords, just simply by going up a third between each tone, okay? This is called an F major 7 or a 1 chord, okay? It's built on the first note of the F major scale. It's a 1 chord or an F major 7. So go ahead and write this with me, 1 chord, and write F major 7. Next chord is a if you build this on the second note of the F scale, the G, it's called the 2 chord, and if you skip thirds, we get a G minor 7 chord. So put a 2 and put G minor 7. You guys with me? Next chord is a 3 chord, A minor 7, A, C, E, and G. Going a little fast here. You guys will have time to watch this course later. It will be archived in our workshops, and it will also be turned into a course in our course roadmap. This should be in our jazz roadmap. Next chord is a 4 chord. This is built on the B flat major. Go ahead and play this with me, guys. B flat, D, F, and A. All thirds. That's a 4 chord, B flat major 7. 5 chord, C7. Okay. These are naturally occurring 7th chords in the key of C major, meaning you build 7th chords on each scale degree. This is what you end up with, okay? Our 6th chord, our naturally occurring 6th chord, is a D minor 7. And finally, our naturally occurring 7th chord is an E minor 7 or E half diminished 7, okay? This is a half diminished 7th chord. That's how classical musicians call it, but jazz musicians actually call it minor 7 flat 5, okay? Meaning a normal minor 7 would be here, and then this is a flat 5th, okay? E minor 7 flat 5. But if you wanted to call it half diminished, you could. I'm just going to draw it for you because I don't have the diminished sign, but it's going to be a circle. You guys can write this if you'd like. E half diminished 7. Make sense? Okay, so guys, these are our naturally occurring 7th chords in the key of F. We call these diatonic 7th chords. Diatonic means major scale, okay? F diatonic 7th chords means the naturally occurring 7th chords in the key of F major. Now, why is this important? Well, it's the same reason that this is important here. It's because most songs that are in a key use chords from that key, meaning if I'm playing in the key of F, there's a very good chance if I'm playing jazz, I'm going to see these chords. I'm going to see F major 7 and G minor 7 and A minor 7, okay? If I'm playing an F, there's a very, very tiny, tiny, tiny chance, if it's, you know, a composer, I'm going to see a D flat major 7, or that I'm going to see an A flat minor 7, or or G flat minor 7. These are going to be our most common chords, okay? And so what we want to do is look at our tune, Jan's Hideaway, look at this chord progression, and ask ourselves a simple question. If we're in the key of F, what is the number of this chord? Okay, so what we're going to do is use this reference here to transform the chords into numbers. Okay, once again, guys, we're going to create a number chart out of the chord progression just like we did with the melody. Okay, now unlike the beginner intermediate live workshop, if you are tuning in from that workshop, we're going to have slightly more advanced chords here. Okay, so this will be reflected in the analysis that we're about to do. Okay, you guys ready for this? And by the way, we're going to answer all the questions at the end of the workshop. I'll open up the last 10 or 15 minutes. If you have questions along the way, I might answer them if I can give you a quick answer. But let's keep going. And by the way, I just want to welcome some of the new members tuning in. Who else is new here? Joel Rank, welcome to the Intermediate Advanced Live Workshop. Good to have you, my friend. And Eric Reinhardt, wonderful to have you. Andy Blowfield, lots of our members tuning in for round 2. All right, guys, so let's look at this chord progression as a function or as a result of being in the key of F, okay? Because like I keep saying this, guys, I want to drive this point home. Most songs use chords from the key. This is why this method works. So what's an F major 7th chord? It's a 1 chord, okay? What we're going to do in this lesson is, unlike the intermediate advanced, we're going to use Roman numerals because we have different chord functions here. We've got some dominant chords, secondary dominant chords, so we need to reflect that in the analysis. Okay, this is a 1 major 7 chord. You guys with me? Let's go to the next chord, D7. Okay, what chord is this? D7. This is a chord. This is a 6th chord, isn't it? D. This is a D chord, right, in the key of F. However, our naturally occurring 6th chord is a minor 7th. Okay, this is a dominant 7. Okay, it's an altered chord, and in jazz, when you play jazz music, this is very common for jazz musicians to do, is they'll take certain chords and they'll turn them into what are called secondary dominant chords. Okay, the ones that are the most common in jazz are the 6th chord. It's very common to see a D7 instead of a D minor 7. The 2 chord, you'll see G7 instead of a G minor 7. And less common, but you will see, is an A minor 7. The 3 chord will often be called an A7. Okay? And I won't go crazy into the theory here, but these chords are called secondary dominant chords because they harmonically move you to a new chord. D7 as a secondary dominant is the 5 of G minor 7. Okay? So jazz musicians will use that dominant 7 to get you to a G minor 7. It's got a really cool sound to it. Okay, that's essentially what's happening here. This is a 6 chord, and go ahead and write this with me. And it's a secondary dominant. Okay, there's another way of writing this. You could write 5 of 2 or 5/7 of 2. I will write that for you guys here, but that's a harder way of thinking of it, in my opinion. You could write 5/7 of 2 like that. Okay. But I like to keep it a little more simple, and in my brain, I think, okay, that's a 6th chord dominant. Okay. Hey, hope you guys are enjoying this quick tip, and just wanted to real quick let you know that the lesson sheet music, which you're seeing here on the screen, and all of the backing tracks for this course are downloadable for our members at pianowithjohnny.com. Let's go ahead and hop back into the quick tip. Next chord, this is a 2 chord. 2 minor 7. Next chord, this is a, and this is also kind of a reflection of both of these things. Like 1 major 7, you guys see this? Okay, down here. This is a 2 minor 7 down here. Okay, 5, this is a 5/7, C7. G minor 7, this is a 2 minor 7. This is C7 is a 5/7. 1. This is a slightly modified chord. It's a 6 chord. Okay. Something we talk a lot about in jazz is how you can alter major 7th chords for a 6. You can substitute the 6 for the 7 or the 7 for the 6. Make sense? So this is like a 1 chord, but we've got a 6 in it. And then the B flat 7 is a 4 chord, but it's a dominant chord. Okay. It's called the tritone substitute of A minor 7. It's functioning as a secondary dominant, but it is the tritone substitute, okay? I won't get crazy into the theory here, but this is the way I think of chords, and I think most jazz musicians think of chords when they're playing in a key. This is a 1 major 7th chord. This is a 6 dominant 7th chord, a 2 minor 7, and a 5/7 chord. Okay. Now, what's important to look at is what notes belong and what notes don't. What chords belong, what chords don't belong. Basically, the first chord is part of the key. This chord is part of the key. This chord is part of the key. All the chords are part of the key except this 6 chord we've made dominant. The 1 chord, we use the 6 as a substitute for the 7, and then this B flat dominant 7, normally the 4 chord is a major 7, but we're using this secondary dominant technique to move to chords. Okay, the secondary dominant, the chord that would lead you to an A minor 7 is an E7. That's the 5 of A minor 7. Okay, this B flat is the tritone substitute, and if you study enough of our intermediate advanced lessons, you'll learn that every dominant chord has a substitute chord, which is a tritone away. A tritone is a minor 5th. Okay, E. The tritone B flat is the substitute for E, so it's a B flat 7. Okay, that's why we have this B flat 7. It is a tritone substitute for the secondary dominant chord E7. Let's move right along, guys. 3 chord minor 7. That's a naturally occurring chord. This one is a not naturally occurring chord. I'm going to make the text smaller on this because it is going to be a lot to write. This is going to be, I'm just going to draw it in for you guys. No, I'm not going to draw it in. I'm going to write it in. This is going to be flat 3, diminished 7. Diminished, you can use the little circle. Okay, that's a better sign for diminished. I'm going to continue with the smaller font here just because these chords are getting close together. This is a 2 minor 7. This is a 6 dominant 7. 2 minor 7. 5, 7. And here we go. This is a little tricky. This is a turnaround here. This is a 3 minor 7. This is a 6 dominant 7. This is a 2 minor 7. This is a 5 dominant 7. Okay? This is analysis. For any of you guys who went to college for music, this is thinking analytically about what you're playing. Because in order to transpose, you need to know what you're playing. You need to understand it. Alright guys, this concludes the quick tip. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoyed the lesson, I want to give you a quick summary of what's inside the full-length workshop. And basically, I teach you this melody called Jan's Hideaway. Really fun little tune. We look at the melody, we talk about how to convert that into a number chart. We look at the chords, which is what you learned today, how to convert that into a number chart, and then we transpose it into 2 different keys, the key of B flat major and the key of G major. I give you guys a ton of valuable tools and tips and tricks for how to transpose quickly, various ways to think about transposing, and we just have a ton of fun in the course. So I'll put a link to the workshop below, and guys, also be sure to check out our membership at pianowithjohnny.com. We have piano lessons for all playing levels, and we teach the styles that you love, like jazz, blues, boogie woogie, pop, rock, Latin, funk, theory, technique. Guys, it is the full learning platform, and we have step-by-step courses, so we hold your hand through the process. We do live events for our members. Every single month, we do a live monthly Q&A, a live monthly workshop lesson. We do weekly challenges for our members. We put up new courses every single month, and we just have a ton of fun. So go check out the Piano with Johnny membership. Thanks so much for watching this quick tip, and I'll see you in the next one.